Okay, please ask me if if you have any question later, and start with this current slide. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sutta study series. Today we are going to continue our discussion on Majjhima Nikaya 4, Bhayabherava Sutta. To get started our study session today, let's start with some salutation to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Buddha, the noble teachings of the Buddha, and that is the Dhamma, and the noble disciples of the Buddha, Mahasangha. So far we have discussed a very important section of the sutta. We have discussed 16 pariyas, what we call solasa pariyas. And just a brief wrap up of the sutta so far. And when Janusoni had a discussion with the Buddha, the Buddha talks about how when someone is away in the jungle meditating, but with not really pure mind, if the mind, body, and verbal speech and body, the conduct is not pure, and if the livelihood is not pure, and then again abhijja lukamesu tibba saraga, that means with strong, full of desire and acute lust, with acute lust. And then also if someone is full of impure or pollution or polluted by the anger. And also number 7, it is the thinamidda, that is sloth and torpor, dullness and drowsiness. And number 8, restlessness with no peace of mind. And number 9, it is the doubting and uncertainty. And then number 10, it is the glorifying oneself and put down others. This is a very strong one too. And number 11, cowardly and craven. And number 12, it is the enjoying possessions, honor and popularity. And if you don't have few wishes, If you have only few wishes, only you can enjoy in the wilderness, and not when you have a lot of possessions, honor, and popularity. And then also lazy and lack of energy. And number 14 is unmindfulness and lack a situational awareness. And number 15 is lack immersion, that is samadhi, and with straying minds. And then if you're not accomplished in immersion or samadhi, it's also difficult. Number 16, the last, duppanya elamuga. So the Buddha said, witlessness and stupidity. And these are some of the qualities. If you have these things, and if you go to wilderness, and if you stay in the few frequent remote lodgings in the wilderness and the forest, if you stay like that, it will be hard for you. You will have fear and dread. Buddha said he did not have these problems. He was very pure in conduct, and he had all the opposite qualities. He was very confident of that. And seeing those accomplishments in him, Buddha said, I felt even more unruffled about staying in the forest. So with that, we go ahead. And this is called Solasa Pariyaya. This is the first part of the sutta, very important part. And then the second part is about um, how the Buddha, when he was already Bodhisattva, he was not even Buddha that time, and he was ascetic Gautama. And he thought, um, people talk about 14th, 15th, and 8th day of the fortnight, and those are little bit darker or specific days of the month. And so when they get in such nights, especially in those forests, it'll be more difficult and um, more hair-raising experiences. You get fear and dread more. And so whenever there is a little bit of sound, peacock snapping a twig, or wind rustling the leaves, people get fear. And the Buddha explained his own experience. When I had that, what should I do? Why do I always meditating? Like when you meditate and you suddenly hear, with closed eyes, you meditate in the middle of the night, dark pitch darkness in the wilderness, and you suddenly hear a snapping of a twig, or by a peacock or something, or then wind rustling, and you feel fear, you feel terrified. And then he was thinking, why do I meditate expecting that fear and terror to come? So it's like when you close your eyes, when nothing is there, you are expecting the terror, you are expecting the fear. And so the Buddha was he was addressing, he was hitting the nail on the head, thinking, why should I do that? I should not expect that. Rather, why don't I get rid of that fear and just read just as it comes by remaining just as I am. So I am who I am, and fear or whatever, the sound or whatever comes, let it come and let it go. Fear come and go. I will observe it, not judge, and not being overwhelmed by that. So it's really very, very important. And this is very practical also. Most of the people actually are very scared of hauntings, ghosts, night, and all kinds of phobias are there. So for those people, I think this is a very, very powerful, strong, applicable resolution. And so the Buddha said, um, Then that fear and dread came upon me as I was walking. Tassamayham Brahmana Chankamantassa tang Bhayabherava agachati. When I was walking, Chankamana means to walk. So when I was walking, I had the fear. I had the terrifying sensation. And then what should I do? I didn't stand still or sit down or lie down until I had got rid of that fear and dread while walking. Soko ahang brahmana neva tava tittami na nisidami na nipajami. So tittami is standing, nisidami is sitting, and nipajami is laying down. I did not do these things because I was walking, and I had the fear when I was walking. So until I get rid of that while walking, I don't want to sit anymore. I don't want to lay down anymore. I don't want to stand anymore. So the Buddha was addressing the issue right there, then and there, and not searching a resolution somewhere else outside. He was walking and walking back and forth, and until he figured out, oh, this is fear, it comes and goes, and this is because of this, and that is because of that. This is the sound of a twig snapped by a peacock, or this is the sound of the rustling of the wind. And so he would identify it, he would recognize it, and then he would realize it, things as it is. And so when he realized that, his fear was gone. And then suddenly he felt more confident. Tasamayam brahmana titasatam bhayabheravang agacchati. So ko aham brahmana neva tavatittami. Yeah. And so ko aham brahmana neva tavachankamami na nisidami na nipajami yavatito tito vatang bhayabheravang pati nivemi. Tasamayam brahmana nisinnasatam bhayabheravang agacchati. So same thing. When he was standing, when he was standing, when he had the fear, he would not walk, he would not sit, he would not lay down. He would figure out how to get rid of that fear and dread until he sorted out all by himself. He would not change his posture. So meditation also, here we talk about the four postures: meditating while walking, while sitting, while standing, and while laying down. In all these postures, he was meditating. And whenever something happened in any of these postures, he would figure out how to get rid of that fear and dread. And after that only, he would change his position. Then that fear and dread came upon me as I was standing. Okay, here he says, and I didn't walk or sit down or lie down until I had got rid of that fear and dread by standing. Then that fear and dread came upon me as I was sitting. I didn't lie down or stand or walk until I had got rid of that fear and dread while sitting. Then that fear and dread came upon me as I was lying down. I didn't sit up or stand still or walk until I had got rid of that fear and dread while lying down. So the same thing actually in the Pali, this is nothing much. It is the same thing that we discussed before. So I would skip that. Now we know the Buddha's practical, very, very practical approach to that experience, fear and dread. It's not only fear and dread, any other problems that we face, encounter in our life, Buddha actually would be very happy to face it rather than running away from that. One time, Venerable, there was a story of one one lady trying to defend the Buddha. And then people were talking bad of the Buddha. And there were some stories like that. And then Venerable Ananda said, the Blessed One, let's move out of this place because it's not going to be good for us. People talk bad of us. And then the Buddha said, what happens if we go there to another place and we hear the same story? We have the same situation. What will you do? You will run away from from that place to another? So rather, we would stay here, wait here, and don't worry, as we are aware of our own practice, and if we are confident of our own practice. As long as we are confident of our own practice, we don't have to worry. We don't have to run away. This is the Buddha's approach to problems. And so the same thing here. And now Santiko Pran Brahmana Eke Samana Brahmana Rattinyeva Samanang Samanang Divati Sanjananti. And now Divayeva Samanang Rattiti Sanjanati. So here some samanas and brahmanas, there's practitioners, they are basically practitioners. These practitioners sometimes they consider Ratti is night and Diva is daytime. So they Janati is to know, Sanjanati is to perceive. They perceive um, night as day. Okay, Samanang means equal. So they perceive Diva as Ratti. That means daytime as, it's like the other way around. So they perceived it as other way around. There are some ascetics and Brahmins who perceive that it's day when in fact it's night, or perceive that it's night when in fact it's day. This meditation of theirs is delusional, I say. So the Buddha said, idang ahang tesang samana brahmananang sammoha viharasming sammoha viharasming vadami. I say, ida ahang vadami, I say, te sang samana brahmananang sammoha viharasming. This practice by these Brahmins, these ascetics, I call it delusional. It is moha. It is rather sammoha or moha, delusional. So rather, the Buddha said, aham kopana brahmana ratting eva samanang ratti iti sanjana. I perceive that it's night when in fact it's night. Diva eva samanang divati sanjana. And I perceive that it's day when it's in fact it is day. So it is the other way around. So Buddha is again his approach to the meditation, his approach to the solution, problem solving is really important. Vyankotang Brahmana Samma Vadamano Vadeya. And if there is anyone whom it might be rightly said, Samma Vadamano, rightly said, that a being not liable to delusion, asammoha dhammo, asammoha dhammo, not liable to delusion. Satto loke uppanno. Loke uppanno satto, that means in the world some people are born bahujana hitaya, for the well-being, for the welfare, bahujana sukhaya, that means for the happiness, lokan kampaya, for out of compassion, attaya hitaya. Attaya means for the benefit, and sukhaya is for the well-being or happiness. Deva manusanang, deva is deities and manusa is humans. So from out of this, for the well-being and happiness of these people. So here it is said, if there is anyone of whom it might be rightly said that a being not liable to delusion has arisen in the world for the welfare and happiness of the people, for the benefit, welfare and happiness of gods and human, it is of me that it should be said. If someone say that, Mang eva tang samma vadamano vadeya, it is about me that somebody should say that. Buddha's, it's not really the boasting side. It's the out of very confident achievement of the Buddha's um, perfection. That's why he could say that. Asammoha dhammo satto loke uppanno bahujana hitaya bahujana sukhaya lokanukampaya attaya hitaya sukhaya deva manussananti. And so asammoha dhamma means it is not with the ignorance, but out of ignorance, or what do you call the knowledge. And with that right knowledge, I was born into this world for the well-being and happiness and good goodness of the others, including devas and manusas, deities and humans. Aradhan Kopaname, Brahmana, when he had that feeling, Aradhan Kopaname Brahmana Viryang Ahosi, I had the energy, and Asallinang means unflagging, and Upattita Sati Asamutta, when he had that feeling out of compassion for the benefit and well-being and happiness of the many, I was born into this world. He had the energy roused up and flagging. And then also Upattita Sati Asammutta. Sati is mindfulness, Asammutta, and it was lucid, and Upattita established. Passaddho kayo. So my body was tranquil, my body was calm. Asaradho, undisturbed. Samahitang chittang, uh, my mind was concentrated, and ekagang, one-pointedness. I could concentrate very well. See how when he figured out all those external difficulties, external problems, he sorted them out, and then he could easily figure out why he was born into this world, for the well-being and happiness of the many, humans and non-humans, deities and all. And then he could easily um, um, generate his energy, virya, and he could also concentrate. Mindfulness was very well established, and his body was very calm, no restless anymore like before. And his mind was very calm, concentrating, and he found it was very focused and very sharp. Soko aham brahmana vivicheva kamehi. Now, this again is not possible when you have karma. So vivicheva kamehi means quite secluded from sensual pleasures. Kamehi, sensual pleasures. This is Tatiya Vibhati or Panchami Vibhati. Vivicheva kamehi, of the karma, of the sensual pleasures. Vivicheva, secluded. Vivicha akusalehi, secluded from akusala or unwholesome qualities. Akusalehi dhammehi. Savitakkam, I entered, and Savitaka is with Vitakka. That means um, this is one of the what do you call things against the jhanas, right? Five hindrances. Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha. These are jhanic factors. Savitakkam, Savicharam, Vivekajam, Piti, Sukhang, Patamang, Jhanang, Upasampadya, Vihasing. So I Vihasing, or I lived Upasampadya, having approached and Pataman Jhanam, first jhana. And this first jhana was with Savitaka, with this first absorption or jhana was with uh, Savitaka, and then Savichara, this with Vichara and Viveka, and this is the seclusion. So has the rapture and bliss, born of seclusion. And Piti Sukhang, again, Piti is joy, and Sukha is or rapture, or Sukha is also can be comfort. So these are jhanic factors we have to discuss little later. I would consider this discussing more with the Atakathas and more. That will be very, very useful. When you have um, these 5 jhanic factors, and later on you can see in the second jhana, one by one, these jhanic factors are gone. So which has the rapture and blissness, bliss of born of seclusion. And while placing the mind and keeping it connected, the translation actually doesn't give the whole thing. So vitakka vicharanang vupasama, as the placing of the mind and keeping it connected were stilled. Okay, so vitakka is the placing of that concentration, and then vichara is to be connected with that more in a more sustainable manner. And when you have that, you become vupasama ajhatang. So it become when you have that, you feel completely calm and completely absorbed into that. And then sampasadhanam chetaso ekodibhavang avitakang avicharang samadhijang piti sukang dutiyan jhanang prasampajya vihasi. So in the second jhana, you see what happens with the eko dibhava, or with more concentration, with more one-pointedness, and the savichara become less in the second jhana, and samadhi is more concentrated, and piti sukha is still there, rapture and joy. And that is how he was entering the second samadhi. As the placing of the mind and keeping connected with still, I entered and remained in the second absorption, which has the rapture and bliss born of immersion, with internal clarity and confidence and unified mind, without placing the mind and keeping it connected. So it's more and more when you see more and more, when you focus and when you practice more and more, you will see that vitakka and vichara also should be some jhanic factor to be avoided. And then you avoid in the second jhana. And in the third jhana, we see starting with piti acha viraga, upekka kocha vihasing, satocha sampajano, sukhancha kayena patisamvedesing. And so now it starts with piti here, the rapture. Pityacha viraga, fading away of the rapture. That here it is piti sukha. And here in the third jhana, piti also is gone. Pityacha viraga, that piti, that rapture is gone. And vihasing, I entered. And satocha sampajano, sati is still there. And sampajana is still there. That is more and more focused and mindful and aware. And sukhancha kayena pati sangvedesing. So I was with experience in the bliss. Sukhancha kayena pati sangvedesing. I experienced the bliss. Yang tang arya achikhanti. yang tang arya achikkanti, and that is the noble ones that they declare. Upekkako satima sukha vihariti tatyam jhanam. So upekka is important here, and sati is important here. Sukha vihari, this this bliss also is important here. So the Buddha says here, and with the fading away of rapture, I entered and remained in the third absorption, where I meditated with equanimity, mindful and aware, personally experiencing the bliss of which the noble ones declare, equanimous and mindful. One meditates in bliss. So this is completely absorbed into bliss here, and equanimous and mindful, and then again bliss. And when it comes to the fourth jhana, so this bliss also is gone. Sukhasya cha pahana, dukhasya cha pahana, that is giving up pleasure and also pain. Pubbeva somanassa domanasanang attangama. So in the ending of former happiness and sadness, somanassa is happiness, domanassa is sadness, attangama is ending. And adukha masukang, upekha sati parisuddhing. Adukha masuka means neither pleasure or um, uh, no suffering or sadness. Upekha sati parisuddhing. So upekha is the main thing here. That is the equanimity, and that becomes sati, and pure equanimity and mindfulness. And chatutta jhanam upasampadya vihasing, with the giving up of pleasure and pain and the ending of former happiness and sadness, I entered and remained in the fourth jhana without pleasure or pain, with pure equanimity and mindfulness. So when it comes to the fourth jhana, it is the upekha or equanimity that is more predominant. No sukha, no joy, no vitakka vichara, nothing. This is completely different experience here. And so evang samahite chitte, right now the mind is really very sharp and very focused. Samahite chitte parisuddhe pariyodate anangane vigatu pakkilese mudubhute kammaniye thite anenjappate pubbe nivasa nussati jnanaya chittang abhininname sing. So aneka vihitang pubbe nivasang anusarami. Now the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, the ascetic Gautama, he is entering a very powerful state. Pubbe nivasas nusati jnana. That is a very important state. Now my mind had become immersed in samadhi like this. His mind is very clear and very pure and bright. Parisuddhe and Pariyodate, and this is Anangane, flawless, and Vigatupa Kilese, rid of all Kilesa, defilements. Mudubhute, very soft and gentle, pliable. Kammaniye, workable. And Thite is stable. And then Anenjapate and imperturbable. You are not going to be disturbed anymore. Very strong. And then Pubbe Nivasanusati Jnanaya. When you are into that stage, I extended it toward recollection of past lives. Pubbe means prior, Nivasa means the lives. Anusati, that is the recollection. Jnana is the knowledge. So he got the knowledge to recollect his past lives one by one. Pubbe nivasang. So aneka vihitang. Aneka vihitang means manifold ways. All kinds of many kinds of past lives. He could anusarami. I could recollect. Sayatidam. That is ekampi jating, one birth. And first I recollected my previous birth. And dvepi jati, I could recollect two births. Tissopi jatiyo, chatassopi. So 3, 4, and pancha 5, and dasa 10, and visa 20, and thinsa 30, and chattalisa 40, and panyasa 50, and jati sata means 100, jati sahasa means 1,000, and jati 1,000 birth, jati sata sahasa means 100,000 births. Anekepi sangvatta kappe, anekepi vivatta kappe, anekepi sangvatta vivatta kappe. Many eons of the world, contracting and expanding. I could see, I could recollect one by one. That much was his mind was pure that he could go all the way back to the previous births. Amutra Singh, Evan Namo. It's not only he could see uh, all his birth, but also he could recognize there his name. I was named this Amutra Singh Evan Namo, my name, Evan Gotto, my clan, and also Evan Vanno. This was my tribe or whatever, and community. Evan Aharo. So here, this was the kind of food I took. And one means this was my complexion was like this. And Evan Sukha Dukkha Patisanvedi. I was experiencing happy and sad feelings like this, experiences. And Evang Ayu Pariyanto, I had this kind of lifespan. And so Tato Chuto Amutra Udapading. And when I passed away from that place, I was reborn somewhere else. I could see that also. And Tatra passing Evanamo. And that birth also, my name, my clan, and my complexion, my food, and my happy and sad experiences, and my lifespan, and then everything I could see, I could recollect. So tato chuto idhupapannoti. And from there, how I felt, how I passed away from that place, and I was born here. Iti sakarang saudesang aneka vihitang pubbe nivasang anusarami. I could collect, I could recollect, I could remember my many kinds of past lives with features and details. Aneka vihitang. Saudesang aneka vihitang means all the details, detailed information of my past lives one by one, not only one, but more than 100,000. And I could see, I could recollect all my past lives. Very interesting, right? Ayang ko me brahmana ratya patameyame patama vidya adhigata avidya vihata vidya upana tamo vihato aloko uppanno yathatang appatasa appamatasa atapino pahitatasa and viharato. So these three qualities are important. Appamatta is diligent, atapi keen, and pahitasa that is very resolute. And he was very strong in that. These are the main things that a practitioner should have. So now the Buddha is explaining to Janusoni Brahmana. And in the first watch of the night, I achieved Patame Ratya in the night, Patame Yame in the first watch, Patama Vijja Adhigata. I achieved the first um, what do you call Vijja, that is the knowledge or the science or whatever, that is the knowledge I had. And how did I got it? How did I get it? Avijja Vihata. My ignorance was gone. Vijja Upanna. Knowledge was born. Tamo Vihato. Darkness was gone. Aloko Upanno. Light was born. And Yathatang Apamattasa Atapino Pahitatasa Viharato. Though, as happened for a meditator, who is diligent and keen and resolute. So when I kept on doing, I never stopped. When I achieved the first jhana, I didn't stop. I went to second jhana, I didn't stop. Went to third jhana, I didn't stop. Kept on meditating, fourth jhana, and then kept on meditating. I went to Pubbe Nivasa Anusati. I could recollect many past births. And then he still didn't stop. He kept on focusing. He was not disturbed by any of those wonderful achievements. He kept on focusing on his meditation. And then he says, the first knowledge, first watch of the night, he could get rid of that ignorance. So, evang samahite chitte parisuddhe pariyodate anangane vigatukappakilese mudubhute kammani thite ananjapatte sattanan chutupapata jnanaya chittang. Now the same more and more concentrated mind, more and more pure, more and more clear, bright and flawless, and no corruption, and pliable, mudu, and workable and steady and imperturbable. So he kept on meditating, and then he saw Sattana Chutupapata jnana. Chutupapata jnana. Chuti and upapata. The death, Chuti means death, and upapata is rebirth of a sentient being. Now he could also see the other people's death and rebirth, and that again he could do it for many births, and he could see how sentient beings are born and dying, and that is called Chutupapata. And so Dibbena Chakkhuna Visuddhena Atikkanta Manusakena Satte Passami Chavamane Uppajjamane Hine Panite Suvanne Dubbanne Sugate Duggate Yatha Kammupage Satte Pajanami. That is so wonderful. With that clairvoyance, Dibba Chakku, that clairvoyance. Chakku is eye. So Dibba is heavenly. So Tatya Vibhatti Ekavachana. So Dibbena Chakkuna, with that heavenly eye or with that clairvoyance, Visuddhena, with that very pure, and Atikkanta Manusakena. Manusa means human. Atikkanta Manusakena means superhuman and extra-human capacity. Satte Passami, I could see with this extra-human, very pure eye called clairvoyance. I could see Satte Passami, I could see the beings or the sattas. And Chavamane, I could see them dying. Uppajjamane, I could see them born, being reborn. Hine Panite, I could see them born in Hina means inferior birth, Panita means superior birth. And Suvanne is beautiful, Dubbanne means not, so Vanna is complexion. Some are beautiful, some are ugly. Sugata means in good birds, and Duggati is bad birds. So high realms and lower realms. Yata kammu pagye satte pajami. So according to their own karma, they were born in many different births. It was like a bird's eye view. He could see from the above how people are conducting their life in the uh, lower realm. I could see everything below. Imevata bonto satta kaya duccharitena samannagata, vachi duccharitena samannagata, mano duccharitena samannagata, ariyanang upavadaka, michaditti, kama samadana, te kaya sabheda parammarana, apayan duggating vinipatang nirayang uppanna. So when these people kaya duccharitena samannagata, they were full of kaya duccharita, wrong misdeeds by the body, and vachi duccharita means misdeeds by the words, and mano duccharita misdeeds by the mind, and ariyanang upavadaka, they were also blaming, scolding the noble ones. Michya ditthika, they were having wrong views, and michya ditti kamma samadana, and they were also chose to act with that wrong view. So what happened? Te kaya sabheda param marana. So when they means they, kaya sabheda, when the body is dead, that is after death, parang marana, kaya sabheda parang marana means with the breaking of the bed, the body, paramarana, after death, apayang duggating vinipatang. So they went to apaya or hell. That is called duggating vinipata. Vinipata niraya. So they were born in the vinipata niraya. That is the underworld, the hell realm. Imeva panabunto satta kaya sucharitena. So he could see that, how people are doing bad things and born in hell realm. And also he could see when people doing good things, they were born in paramarana sugating saggang lokang uppanna. They were born in heavenly realm. Iti dibbena chakkuna visuddhena atikkanta manusukena sattena chavamanen. So the Buddha could see all the people, all beings, all sentient beings, how they are born and reborn in different realms. Ayanko me brahmana ratya majjime yame dutiya vijja adhigata. So now majjime yame dutiya vijja adhigata. I got the second knowledge. Avijja vihata vijja uppanna. Now this also in the first night, watch of the night also, he says avijja vihata, and here is another a layer of avijja again gone. Tamo vihato, darkness is gone. Aloko uppanno, light is born. Yathatang appamatta sata pino pahitatasa viharato, a diligent, keen, and resolute meditator. So this will happen to that person. Evan samahite chitte parisuddhe pariyodate anangane vikatuka pakkelese mudubute kammani tite ananjapatte sattanang chutupapata jnanaya chittang abhinimnamesing. So I extended it toward the knowledge of chutu, chuti, and upapata. That is the birth and rebirth, death and rebirth. And then he could also see the in the third watch of the night. So idang yata bhutang abhanyasing ayang dukkha samudayoti yata bhutang abhanyasing. So now idan dukkhanti, idan dukkha ayang dukkha samudayoti, ayang dukkha nirodhoti, and dukkha nirodha gamini patipada. This is the Four Noble Truths. Yatha bhutang paja abhanyasing. I could see as it is. I truly understood that, the Four Noble Truths. And we also understand, but that is not the true. And this is in in-depth meditation with so much pure heart and so much of diligent, resolute practice. You could see that. He could already see many of his past births, hundreds and thousands of his own births, and he could see how people dying, born after doing their own good and bad deeds. He could see with that Dibba Chakku, and then uh, he could see the reality of the Dukkha Satya, the real Four Noble Truths he could see now. Ime asavati yathabhutang abhanyasi ayang asava samudayoti. Now he could see this is the defilements, or asava, canker, or defilement, or whatever. These are the defilements. And ayang asava, this is the cause of it. This is the origin. And ayang asava nirodha, this is the cessation of it. And ayang asava nirodha gamini, this is the path leading to the cessation of defilements or asavas. He could see that. Tasame evam janato evam pasato kamasava pichitang chita. Now when he kept on doing it, when he could know and see these things, he could get rid of kamasava, free from all desires, freed from the defilements of sensuality. Chittang vimuchita. So his mind was freed, and bhavasavapi chittang vimuchitta. So kamasavapi chittang vimuchitta, bhavasavapi chittang vimuchitta, avijjasavapi chittang vimuchitta. So he found that kamasava, bhavasava, and avijjasava, these are the three asavas here that talk about, and they are all gone. His mind was free. And vimuttasming vimuttamiti jnanang ahosi. And the other beauty is that the practitioner also could have that knowledge. Vimuttasming vimuttamiti jnanang. So that person has the knowledge that his mind was freed from these three asavas. Khina jati, when you are done, khina jati, rebirth is done. No more birth. Khina jati. And Vusitang Brahmacharya, I don't have to do any more Brahmacharya. Spiritual journey has been completed. Katang Karaniyang, whatever has to be done, I have done. Naparang ittathayati, from here onward, and nothing has to be done anymore. And ittathayati apanya, I understood. Rebirth is ended, spiritual journey has been completed, what had to be done has been done. There is no return to any state of existence. No way. That everything is done. By the time you have this knowledge, vimuttasming vimuttamiti jnana, when you have, you are done. Ayanko me brahmana ratya pachime yame tatya vidya adhigata. Now in the last watch of the night, he has again vidya adhigata, third vidya, third knowledge. Avidya vihata vidya upanna, tamo vihato aloka upanno, yatha tang appamatta sata pinopahata. Same thing as we discussed before. Siya chakopana te brahmana evamasa ajyapi nuna samano gotamo avitarago avitadoso avitamoho tasma aranya vanapathani pantani senasarani pardham. Now the Buddha is asking good question actually. Now why Samana Gotama, having got rid of all the raga dosa moha, and why do you have to still stay in the jungle? Now you are done with it. You can come out, he said. And then the Buddha said, I do it for the benefit of the others. Nakopanetam Brahmana evan datthabang. Don't look at that like this. Dveko me ahang Brahmana attavase sampas samano aranyavana pathani pantani senasanani attanocha dittadam sukha viharang sampasamano. One is I see a happy life for myself in the present. Dittadam sukha. And pachimancha janatang anukampamano. And I have compassion. Anukampa. Anukampamano means compassion for the other future generation. Pachiman janata, like you and I. Anukampita rupa vatayang bhota gotamena pachima janata yathatang arahata samma sambuddhi. Now by this time Janusson is completely absorbed into his Dhamma. He is very clear with the Blessed One's teaching. He says, indeed, the Blessed One, Master Gotama, has compassion for the future generation. Anukampita rupa vata ayang bhota gotamena yathathang arahata samma sambuddha. Since he is a perfected one, fully enlightened one. Arahata is perfected one, fully enlightened one, samma sambuddha. Now this is the final evaluation by the Janusoni Brahmin. He says, Abhikantang Bhogotama, excellent Master Gotama. Abhikantang Bhogotama, excellent Master Gotama. Sayathapi, just as Bhogotama, Nikujjitang wa ukkucciya. Something that is writing overturn, as if he were writing the overturn. I was like upside down now. It was Nikujjitang wa kujje. Patichannang wa vivare. Patichanna means hidden. Vivara is to open. When something was hidden, you opened it for me. Mulhasava maggang achikaya. I have lost my way. You showed me the way. Andakareva telapajyotang dhareya. I was in the darkness and you showed me the light. And chakkumanto rupani dakkintiti. And people with good eyes can see what there is now. Evam bhota gotamena aneka paryayena dhammopakasito. Master Gotama has made the teaching very clear in many ways. And esaham bhavantang Gotama saranang gacchami. I go for refuge to the Master Gotama. And dhammancha bhikkhu sangancha, also to the dhamma and to the sangha, bhikkhu sangha. So this is called triple gem. Upasakang mam bhavang Gotamo dharetu. Please Gotama, Master Gotama, please consider me as your upasaka. Ajjatagge panupetang. From today onward until the very end of my life, saranangatante, I have taken refuge. I have gone for refuge of the Buddha. And Bhayabherava Suttang Nittitang Chatuttang. This is the fourth sutta of the Bhayabherava Sutta completed. And with that, this one, the last part of the sutta, is repeated in many hundreds of suttas. We can see how people, when they listen to the Buddha's teaching, and how they become, taken refuge at the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Okay, so I think so finally we could finish the sutta, very important sutta for all of us. It's a very wonderful sutta, revealing one, enlightening one. I hope we can discuss more about this sutta again later on. And thank you again for joining us. Do you have any questions? Or should we call it a day? Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay. With that, we conclude. Thank you for joining us. and may you all be well, happy and healthy. And may the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you, help you, protect
Thank you.
you, and guide you towards the right path. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
Sabbitiyo
Bante.
vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassato mate bhavatvantarayo sukhe dighayuko bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Sadhu,
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 sadhu.
sadhu.
Thank you.